Hello and welcome back to Moving Forward. I'm your host, Rachel Salyer, and you just saw one of 3 University of Akron's commercials based off pioneering technology of today's guest. With us now are students and entrepreneurs to tell us about their experiences, Courtney and Tom. Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Now, can you tell us about the technology that you've developed?
Yes, absolutely. Well, essentially our technology is in the clean energy field. So this technology is really kind of in a circuit board you can think of. And really what it does, it exists to protect battery packs that are being used in alternative energy type applications. So really what our product does is it'll help the battery pack to last longer and perform correctly when it's out storing energy from, say, a wind turbine or in an electric vehicle or in some kind of a solar farm situation. So that's really what our product does.
And you've branched off from that and started your own company as students here still. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, it's been a very challenging process, doing things on top of engineering, homework assignments, research and stuff like that. But we basically, both of us have been doing research in the battery management type field with our advisor, Dr. Tom Hartley. And from there we decided, what we have here is something that's really great. Let's see if we can get this out into the real world and have some applications where we could potentially benefit financially from it. So
So it's kind of it's thinking about it differently, because I think a lot of engineering students approach classes and research in an academic sense, and I think it takes somebody coming in and telling you to think differently about what you're doing. So we had people here at the university that were coming to us and telling us, hey, you guys are doing this great research, but why don't you think about what you're doing in a different light? And so after kind of thinking about it and playing around with the idea really within the past year, we started to take it really seriously. And we both participated in an entrepreneurship program that was offered here at the university last spring. So that's really what kind of jump-started us into the right direction to actually pursue this seriously, in addition to still going to school and, finishing, Tom's finishing his master's and I'm, working on graduating. So that's really how it all began back a couple years ago.
So how did this project first get started? Was it a project for school that you first started developing this technology? Where did it begin?
Well, I think for each of us it had a slightly different beginning. So I'll start with my story first. Since I was approaching this from an undergraduate perspective, I got involved with a research team of other undergraduate students, and we were really working with a local electric vehicle company that's called Myers Motors, and they were in need of a battery management system to protect their batteries in their electric cars. It's a really important part of electric vehicles, so you don't have your batteries catching on fire while you're driving down the road. So they had this concern, and so they came to who was actually both of our advisors, and he put together a team of undergraduate students to work on a small piece of that research. And so that's how I got dragged into the undergraduate research side of it.
And then from the technical side of things, it became a little bit more complex in terms of the things that had to be developed to further get this project going with that electric vehicle company. And so myself and another graduate student started developing like a charger for that electric vehicle system, as well as a more advanced battery management system for their battery pack inside their car.
And I know you both went to a competition that you placed very highly in. Can you tell us about that?
The competition was called the Clean Energy Challenge, and this is really kind of the northeastern part of the United States is where this competition took place, although it's technically a nationwide competition. So there are really 2 different parts to the competition, and the part that we placed well in was this northeastern regional competition. So this is a competition that was brought about by the Department of Energy, so the DOE, and really their motivation is to encourage both students and early stage startup companies in the clean energy field to pursue their research and starting their companies by offering certain amounts of funding in kind of the form of a grant to these companies. So we entered into what was called the Student Challenge. So the Student Challenge encompassed colleges and universities all from the state of Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, Illinois, and all the surrounding states. And so we entered the competition back in sort of the November timeframe, so this is really recent. And we found in December that we had been selected as finalists. So at this point, we had a lot of preparation to do, and then finally, at the end of February, we traveled to Chicago, and that's where the main competition was. So we met there with 18 other student finalists. There was also another category for companies that were another step ahead of us, but we're technically in the student category. So we went there and we presented. We had a 3-minute fast pitch where we had to present our business idea, and then we had a longer pitch format that was 8 minutes that we had to present our business idea. So what happened is that we were competing against all teams, and then there was a state competition. So what we did is we ended up winning the Ohio competition. So we were the top team out of the state of Ohio, and that was determined specifically from our performance in this 3-minute fast pitch format. So It was very exciting, very short period of time to explain your business concept. But the payoff is that we got $10,000 to help fund our company and our startup at this stage. So it was very exciting for us. Yeah.
How do you balance being a student, an undergrad and a graduate student, and running your own company? How does that work?
You really just have to find the time to make it work. I mean, it's either some nights you're losing sleep, of course, but it's just like you're shuffling around your homework assignments, studying for tests. Yeah, something has to give. So you might actually, not perform exactly where you want to in terms of tests, but you gotta get by. So that's in both of our experiences. It's just find what you can do to keep moving forward. So.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's a point where you have to determine, what's really important and what do you want to focus on. School is very important, to both of us. Obviously, that's what got us involved in this project. So, we put a high level of importance on school, but also, there's points in time where you do have to sacrifice. And, both of us are involved in a lot of extracurricular projects and robotics and fun projects. But I think that we reached a point where we had to sacrifice some of the other fun things we were doing to focus more on the company, and so that's really how we spend our spare time now. It's very much involved in moving the company forward.
And you've both already accomplished so much as college students. Where do you hope to move after you graduate?
Well, I guess next what we're doing is we're trying to get, with the funding that we receive from the competition, we're trying to budget that and see what we can do, develop our market for our business, talk to customers, including cold calls on the phone to, XYZ company, as well as see what we can do to position this, the funding to help our company move along as fast as we can, and hopefully not have to get a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah, that hits the nail on the head. I mean, I think that, as far as pursuing the company goes, I still have a year to graduate, so just trying to set up, our contacts. What we found really is that the network in Ohio for entrepreneurship is very strong. So what we've been trying to pursue is getting ourselves involved in that network. Since we're students, we need to build credibility in the entrepreneurial world since we're very young. So that makes it a little bit more challenging for us to obtain the funding that we need to move the product itself forward. So really our goal is to work with local people in the community that are experienced entrepreneurs to help us to obtain the funding that we need so we could become successful. And that's the next step.
And what advice would you give to other students who have an idea and who want to bring it to life and bring it to fruition the way you both did?
Well, for me, I'll give the undergraduate perspective. So there's a lot of challenges. First of all, I mean, in my situation, being in engineering, being an undergraduate, and being a woman in engineering and entrepreneurship, there are challenges associated with all of that. And really, I tell students that are interested in starting an idea, it all starts first with taking opportunities. So, nothing's going to happen unless you take the initiative. You may be thinking about an idea, but nothing happens until you do something about it. So I encourage undergraduate students that I meet to think outside the box. It's, for instance, I'm typically engineering is a 5-year program, but I'm taking 6 years to graduate, really because I realized that I needed to split my time up and take less classes so I could spend more time on the company. So I guess I encourage, the undergraduate students to think differently, think about what you really care about, and then make decisions accordingly to shift around your schedule to really achieve what you want. So if you're thinking of entrepreneurship, talk to people. There's so many people on campus that would love to help students, undergraduate students especially, and there's tons of mentors around. So talking to people and then just thinking outside the box, I think.
Yeah, I would, just add on to that by saying that it's really, you also have to have it in yourself. You gotta have to trust your gut basically, because there are definitely times when you're just doing all these things and there's so much going on, you just want to break down and be like, man, I cannot do this. But it's just like, if you just keep going at it and, get a good support group, find someone else or other people that support your idea, that will help you carry along through these really hard valleys that you go through. So it definitely is not a walk in the park, but yeah, I would say a good support group would really help out in that process.
Well, congratulations to you both on all your success, and thank you so much for being here with us today.
Well, thank you for having us.
Today on Moving Forward, we took a closer look into the cutting-edge science and technology taking place on the University of Akron's campus. We just spoke with Courtney and Tom about their work with clean energy. Earlier, Dr. Hu told us about how contacts can help monitor blood sugar, and Dr. Blackledge told us about his work with spider silk. To learn more about the energy of innovation, visit uakron.edu/innovation. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at ZTV Moving Forward. You can also see the latest clips and episodes on our website, ztvmovingforward.com. From all of us here at the Moving Forward team, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.